Hello, I'm Tony Trungone, Superintendent, Millville Public Schools, here to present part 4 of our reopening of schools. And I'd like to introduce our well-astounded principal, 42-year veteran of the Millville Public School System, supporting our kids every day, every year, Ms. Joann Burns. Welcome.
Thank you, Tony. I'm very happy to be here.
Since we're far apart, we're going to agree that we could take the mask off?
Yes, I agree. Thank you.
Okay. So I want to start off by saying that we're going to get our students and our staff these masks. You can see there's a Millville logo.
I like that logo.
You like it?
I do.
So this is actually the staff. It'll be a little darker, but the staff it'll be like a charcoal color.
Okay.
And then the students will get something similar. And then I got this little one for the elementary and the preschool kids. What do you think?
I think that'll be perfect for our children. I do.
And it'll be this is just a sample. It'll be red, orange or blue.
Okay.
So I have a couple questions.
Okay.
Okay. So in our process of communicating to the public, we weren't clear about the Child Family Center. So the question was, will the Child Family Center be open in September?
It absolutely will be open in September. We have been spending a lot of time getting everything ready for September. One of the things we did was we had a summer program, only with 40 children and 4 classrooms, 10 in a classroom. And we have set all kinds of guidelines, and the parents have fully cooperated with us, which is a big part of having any program work, is parent cooperation.
So those guidelines, they were from, the initials were DCF?
They were DCF, yes.
What's that stand for?
Division of Child and Families.
So they provide the guidelines, we had a follow-up?
Yes, they did.
What did we learn from that? Anything?
We learned that it can work, I think. I mean, it has been working. We're in week 5. We have 1 more week to go. And as I said, the parents have been cooperative. The children, well, you were there the very first day you joined us. And I mean, there's nothing better than seeing children see their friends. And we're teaching them, and it's a great teaching experience for them. And they can learn.
Well, when I was there, the parents were happy too.
Yes, very happy, extremely happy. And, I think they feel safe. I think they trust us. They know that these children are like my own children, and I'm not going to do anything to endanger any of those children or the staff. This staff is, I'm very close to our staff, and we want to keep them as safe as possible at all times.
And from the short time I've been here, you definitely present that vibe to me.
Thank you.
Again, my boxes I'm still not unpacked here. We're working through the plan here, but I do get that from you, and I feel assured that you're going to follow through and have our kids safe, but also feel like they're healthy and maintain their health.
Yeah, thank you.
So the schedule for students, that's been talked about too from our parents. So the activities, what's going to go on with the schedule and the rotation for the children?
Okay, we're going to follow the same schedule that the district follows. There'll be 2 orange days, a virtual remote learning day, and then 2 blue days, so that your child will either come Monday and Tuesday and then have a virtual day Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday we're going to send home learning packets with those children. And there'll be a lot of fun activities. We're providing everything the parent needs. Everything they need will be sent home, and they'll get to use those activities. It's a nice time for a parent to work with their child, and they get to learn to see some of the things we do in school. Many of them have had a whole different thought about teachers because they see how hard it really is.
Yes, I heard that.
And so we're hoping to be able to do that with the fun materials that we send home.
Good, thank you. So now, keeping children safe in school, with your leadership and with the staff that you talk about that you're so proud of, what are we doing to keep them safe?
We have a whole cleaning schedule set up. We've worked with Mr. Cruzan and the custodians. Our custodians are just part of our family, and they want to keep those children safe too. One of the things that we're doing, besides the regular cleaning that we do every day, because with little kids, we probably already get more cleaning than a lot of the schools, just from they're just so touchy with everything. So we have a pretty good cleaning schedule, but we've upped it when they go out to the playground. The custodians are coming in to hit the hot spots in the area. The teachers are going to, when children leave a center, they'll help and make sure that they wash their hands and try to disinfect those toys. The bathrooms will be cleaned, the switches, the door handles, and all of that. One of the things we thought of was if we have to use any stairs or any rails, the teacher will be first in line. She'll have a wipe. As she goes, she'll wipe. The children follow her, and then the aide is at the end of the line, and she'll end up wiping it again. The masks, all staff will wear a mask 100% of the time. The children will not be wearing a mask when they eat and when they rest and when they're on the playground.
Yeah, so I put that out there because we talked about the mask too. They're going to be wearing masks in the classroom, but the teacher's going to provide those mask breaks.
Yes, the teachers will, yes.
So when they're by themselves, take the mask off, give them that break.
Absolutely.
It's like, I think it's a common sense approach.
I think so too. I think so, yes.
So the next thing you mentioned about eating. So how will children receive breakfast and lunch?
Breakfast and lunch will be delivered to the room. Now for us, we've always had breakfast and lunch in the classroom. It's just part of our day. It's part of our learning experience. We focus so much on social emotional learning throughout the whole day. And this is just a time when it's very easy to work on social emotional learning. The difference will be, we used to do family style,
Right.
and it teaches a lot of manners. It really works well. But now we're going to have individual lunches prepared, but they'll still be the hot lunches. They still have their choice of hot lunch, peanut butter and jelly, or ham and cheese. Breakfast will also be provided. They'll be put on a car outside the room, and then the teacher will go and bring the tray in that has all of their food in it. Everything will have been wiped before they sit down to eat. The children will all wash their hands. Only 2 children to a table. And that's something I did forget to mention, that we only have about 8 children in the class at a time. That's right, yeah. And this summer we do have 10, and it's worked with a 10, so this should be a little bit easier.
That's what we learned.
That is how we learned. But
okay. Now the other issue that parents are asking about is the arrival and dismissal, and then how that's going to be handled.
Okay, we're working on that, and it will be a working procedure, because as of right now, I'm still not quite sure who's riding a bus and who's being a parent pickup and who's coming. We still have a wraparound program before and after school on the days that children attend.
Mm-hmm.
So we're asking the parents to bear with us, because it'll change, I'm sure, from day 1 to day 2, and from an orange day to a blue day, because we might have more bus riders on an orange day or a blue day. We don't know for sure. So what will happen is that we'll go out, we'll meet the buses. The children are coming on the buses. We'll take their temperature very quickly. And then I have 48 aides and 8 extra staff. So we have enough that we can unload. And we used to go into the big parent meeting room, and all the teachers were in there, and we dispersed them that way, because that to me was the safest. Well, that is obviously a germ-infested area that we can't do right now. So we're going to take the children, and they're going to have, each hall will be color-coded, and they'll have a zip tie plus their name tag that they wear every day by colors, and we're just going to grab 4 or 5 kids and take them directly to the teacher. And there will be enough people out there to do that. And plus, you're only dealing with half the school. It's not the 600 that I usually have, it's only 300.
Okay.
So and then the parents will be dropping off a little bit later, like 15 minutes later or so.
Mm-hmm.
And we will meet them outside. The parents must have a mask on, just like they did this summer. And we'll take the child's temperature, and we'll take them right to their classroom. And there'll be 4 or 5 areas for them, and they'll know which area they have to go to. And we take them right to the classroom.
Very good. How are we going to communicate to the parents? And we're working on that, right? As far as the bus schedule, and then what their role is going to be if they drop off. So if we drop off a kid, what's the boundaries for the parents, right? Is that going to be conveyed?
We will have social distancing out there. There'll be lines for them to know where to stand.
Okay.
And they did it this summer, and it worked beautifully.
Okay, great. Okay, I got a couple more questions.
Okay.
I know, I don't want to keep that, because you're so busy and you're on top of things, but I think the public is, they
have a right to know.
And, but I think you made valid points, and in your experience, I want to allay the comfort to those parents as far as the things that you have in place.
Okay.
So I think they'll appreciate that. I know you do too, you agree with me. So what will the day look like?
Okay, it will basically be a regular day after we get them in and they wash their hands when they come in the classroom. They'll have breakfast, and they'll have their morning meeting. Now, depending on if we have more parent drop-offs than bus, they might choose to do a small group activity until the whole class gets there, and they can have their morning meeting, which includes songs, and we get some math and some literacy in there. We find some alliterations. We do rhyming words. It's a whole nice little gathering time. They greet their friends. We teach a lot of social emotional instruction. We do some yoga, but this will all be done socially distanced apart, because our classrooms, you have to remember, our classrooms are made for 15 children. Right. We're only going to have 7 or 8 in there. So we have the luxury of really being able to socially distance our children, and they will be far apart and kept safe.
The one thing I want to add, because you're talking about the day, is it's a full day.
It is a full day.
Because I guess some districts are going half the day, and I just don't think that's a fit for our Millville community.
I don't either. I don't see how our parents, even if they have another place to get them, the buses have to pick them up and drop them off the same spot. So I just don't see it working for our
we're a full day.
We're a full day. They'll have a playground time. We have 4 playgrounds, and we have a couple bike areas. So we will be able to spread them out on the playgrounds, and then they'll come in. We'll do some center work. We have about 11 centers in every room, and we're limiting the centers to 2 children. We could just have one in the center, but then you're missing the social emotional piece.
Gotcha.
So they'll have 2 children in any center at any given time. As they leave, we'll encourage them to wash their hands, and we'll just try to disinfect those toys. They'll have their own little box for art materials and things like that.
That's one thing with the summer program. Each child had their own materials.
They
right?
did, and we're going to work on that for this also. When they're in the art area, then they'll have their lunch. A very short story. I'm sorry. Well, my favorite time of the day is telling stories. So they'll have a story. The children love our stories. We're still putting stories on our Facebook page every week for parents to enjoy. And then the short little rest time, because we're required to do a rest time. And then they'll get up and go back to centers, and they can either go home, or we do have a wraparound program, and they can stay for wraparound till 5:30.
And that was a question 2 parents had. Like you mentioned earlier, the wraparound program, we're going to be providing that.
Yes, we are. 7 in the morning till 5:30.
Okay, thanks. Well, last question.
Okay.
And I guess this is the bigger question. What's the plan for a response when a child is sick? Just they come in, they have a stomach ache or whatnot. What's the plan?
Well, we're fortunate at the Child Counseling Center. We have 2 full-time nurses there all day, and we have a very large suite, isn't it? But we do have 2 nurses there all day, and what will happen is if they present with any of the symptoms that concern us, or it can just be any symptom. There are, many early childhood diseases out there, pink eye and upset stomachs, and they're still all out there. So we have a very good group of parents that will bring them to the nurse's office, and we call. Our parents know they have to have someone to come pick them up as soon as possible. We do have the ability, we have partitions, we have 3 different rooms in our nurse's office, so we can keep them safe.
So there's the screening process. They're calling that the isolation room, so that'll be
Yes.
in there. That's where they'll go, and then they'll be evaluated and follow the CDC guidelines.
They will.
Right?
And as I said, we have enough staff to keep everybody supervised.
Good, thank you. Well, Joann, that concludes any questions I have, and I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate, even when I first got here, and the opening of the child care during the day for our students. That was 40, and it took someone who had a stellar reputation in regard to following through, making sure kids are going to be safe, communication to staff, communication to parents. It takes a lot. It takes a lot, and you should be commended that, like Dr. Schneider said, if anybody can pull it through, it's going to be Joann Burns.
Well, I'm fortunate. I do have my vice principal, Chris Barless, who's been. We're a team.
Yeah, I know. She's a dynamo too.
We're 2 Millvillians, and we're committed to this town and the education of the children here.
Well, again, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for this opportunity to talk to all of our families.
All right, thanks.
All right.
So those of you out there, I hope this was an informative session. Again, this is part 4 of our reopening of schools, and it's addressing what's going on in our preschool program. Thank you, and stay tuned next time for another update on reopening of our schools.
Have a magical day.
Take care.